So 7 daily moves that make your wife initiate sex. So be honest, when was the last time your wife came up behind you, put her arms around you, and whispered something in your ear that made you forget what you were doing completely? Or just randomly climbed on top of you in the bedroom and started desperately pulling her panties around her ankles and wiggling out of them? If you're sitting there right now going, 2017, you're not alone. Most married guys are walking around their house like invisible roommates who occasionally get a pity hand job on their birthday. And the worst part is they think it's normal. They think this is just what happens when you've been together for years, that desire just dies, like it's got an expiration date stamped on it, somewhere between the wedding and the second kid. But here's what I know after 16 years of coaching men: desire doesn't die, it goes dormant. And the difference between the guy whose wife is initiating and the guy who's begging for it like a German shepherd nudging a tennis ball across the floor comes down to a handful of daily habits, daily moves, not grand gestures, not expensive vacations, not doing more chores. Daily habits, daily moves, things you do every single day that either turn up the heat or quietly smother it without you even realizing it. Now in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the 7 moves that make your wife want to initiate sex. And I'm not talking about theory, I'm talking about the stuff that actually changes things in my marriage, in my client's marriage, and you're gonna do all 7 of these things without ever having a single conversation with your wife about it. Hi, I'm Bobby Rio, and I'll be honest with you, there was a stretch in my marriage where I felt like I was slowly becoming almost like a side character. Like my wife would walk past me in the kitchen the same way she'd walk past the refrigerator, the same energy, the same acknowledgement, maybe a little less actually, because at least the fridge she would open a few times a day. And I remember sitting on the couch one night scrolling my phone, and she was scrolling hers, and I'm thinking like, is this it? Is this just like what marriage becomes? Because here's the thing that you don't really get told. When you're dating, attraction is the default. You don't really have to think about it. Once she's your girlfriend in that beginning stage, there's tension, there's anticipation, there's buildup, there's the newness, and it's all baked in already. But in marriage, you have to continually create it. And most guys don't realize that until it's already over, until it's already gone, sometimes until they're signing the divorce papers. So I started studying this the same way I study dating, obsessively. Like the same way I used to paint houses all day listening to audiobooks about social dynamics, I started paying attention to what actually made my wife's energy shift. Not what the internet said, not what some freaking therapist in a cardigan told couples what to do, what actually worked. And what I found surprised me. It wasn't the big stuff. It was the small, daily, almost invisible things that I was doing or not doing that controlled the thermostat of desire in my marriage. And it's the same stuff that when I started studying it was what was getting other guys, other husbands laid on a regular basis, while other guys were going months or years between sex with their wives. So in this video, I'm gonna give you these 7 daily moves that changed everything, not just for me, but for the hundreds of guys I've coached with now for the last couple years, where they were living in these dead bedrooms to being in situations where their wives are now initiating. And if you're the kind of guy who's willing to look in the mirror instead of pointing the finger, this is gonna hit different. And I wanna say one thing, because honestly, as a man, the comment section on some of my videos around this topic are embarrassing for guys. If you're a man and you're playing the victim, the helpless man whose wife is responsible for your lack of sex and lack of happiness, or guys leaving comments like, this is too much work. Okay, keep spanking it to OnlyFans. Here's the deal. At some point, you have to decide, I'm in control of my life, and blaming her or circumstances is just an excuse for me not to take action. Okay, so let's get into it. This first one is a mindset shift, and it's pretty crucial for all the other ones to work, and that is to mentally reframe her as your girlfriend. Mentally reframe your wife as your girlfriend. And this is gonna sound weird or stupidly simple, but stay with me. The word wife carries baggage. Think about it. When you hear the word wife, what comes to mind? What images come to mind? To-do lists, nagging, we need to talk, arguments about whose turn it is to unload the dishwasher. There's almost a cultural trope around it, right? The old ball and chain, the old lady, the whole happy wife, happy life thing that basically translates to just shut up and do what you're told. And here's what happens. You start treating her like a wife instead of like a woman you're trying to seduce. You stop flirting, you stop teasing, you stop looking at her the way you did when you were dating, when she was your girlfriend. Because in your head, you've already won. The game's over. She's locked in. But desire does not work like that. So here's the mental shift that I made. I stopped thinking of her as my wife. In my head, she became my girlfriend again. And I know that sounds like some corny motivational poster, but the shift was real, because when she's your girlfriend, you still feel the desire to impress her a little bit, to make her laugh, to turn her on. Basically, you still bring the charm, right? And let me tell you what happened after I made that simple shift. People started noticing, not just my wife. We'd be hanging out somewhere and I'd grab her hand and holding hands with her, I'd kiss her somewhere in public or just touch her back. And I started getting comments like people calling us newlyweds, other couples looking at us like we were from another planet. And it's funny because, that word wife has so much baggage that you very rarely see other couples doing this, right? Holding hands or kissing in public, actually touching each other like they want to be there together. But it didn't start with her. It started with me reframing how I thought about her. Because the moment you mentally put her back in the girlfriend category, your behavior changes, your energy changes, and she feels it. Stop treating her like a wife you've already won and start treating her like a woman you're still trying to seduce. So move number 2 is let her feel your desire. So let your wife feel your desires. There's a quote that I keep coming back to. The desire of the woman is for the desire of the man. Listen to that again. The desire of the woman is for the desire of the man. What it means is a woman's arousal isn't just about being physically touched. It's about feeling desired, feeling wanted. Her desire literally feeds off your desire for her. Now, here's where most guys screw this up. They either hide their desire completely because they're tired of being rejected, or they express it, but they do it like a caveman. Option A is the guy who's so afraid of getting turned down again by his own wife that he never initiates, never compliments her other than the autopilot. You look nice tonight, honey. Never lets her see that she turns him on. He just kind of exists next to her like, a piece of furniture that occasionally asks what's for dinner. But then there's the other guy, right? And this is the guy who gropes her while she's trying to cook dinner, the grab and hunk guy, the, hey babe, want to go upstairs at 9:47 p.m. with the seduction of a drive-through order. Neither of these work, because here's what she actually needs. She needs to feel like she specifically arouses you. This is very, very, very important. She needs to feel like she specifically arouses you. Not that you're just horny and she happens to be the nearest warm body. Not that you want to blow a load and she's the easiest available option. She needs to feel like something about her, the way she looks, the way she moves, the way she laughed at something that you said makes you want her in a way that's almost hard for you to control. And that changes everything for her internally, because think about it from her side. If she feels fat or old or invisible or stressed out or like she's just a mom now, she's not going to feel aroused. She can't. She's not in the headspace. But when she catches you looking at her, when she can feel that you're turned on by her, specifically her, not that you were watching porn in the other room and you walk in with a heart on and she's sitting there and you're like, no, like when she sees in your eyes that she still has the power over you, that's when her own desire wakes up. It's not about telling her she's beautiful though. Every guy tells his wife, oh, you look beautiful tonight, honey. It's about letting her feel it in a way where your eyes linger a little longer, the way your hand rests on the small of her back, the way you pull her close for a second when she walks past you, and then let go. You're not asking for sex. Remember, this is about getting her to initiate. You're not groping. You're letting her see what she does to you and letting her sit with that. Imagine that. The sexier she feels about herself because of you, the more she'll want to be sexy for you. Habit number 3. Make her feel protected. Make her feel protected. I'm going to say something that might sound old-fashioned, but I don't care because it's true. From an evolutionary standpoint, women are wired to desire, to feel desire for a man who can protect her. Now, I'm not talking about fighting off bears or saber-toothed tigers anymore, or building a cabin with your bare hands. In modern life, protection looks different, but the wiring is the same inside her. Protection means when something goes wrong, you handle it. You don't dump it on her. If there's a money problem, problem, you don't make her have to solve it. You don't make her stress about it, right? You don't put it on her plate like she's your financial therapist. You say, I'm aware of it, I'm handling it, here's what I'm doing. If a contractor is screwing you over on the bathroom remodel, you don't sit there venting about it while she watches you spiral and make her call him. You pick up the phone, you handle the conversation, and move on. If your kid's getting bullied at school, you don't throw your hands up, you step in, you help them out, and you figure it out. You show your family that they can count on you, that you've got it. And it's the small stuff too. Walking closer to the street. If you're walking in the street with your wife in the car, just walking on the side that's closer and letting her have the safer side, right, of the sidewalk. Opening the car door, standing between her and some sketchy guy at a gas station. These micro moments register. She may not say anything, but they register. Now here's where a lot of guys go wrong. They confuse protection with doing chores. They think if they load the dishwasher and fold the laundry, they've earned sex. No, that's not protection. That's a transaction. And women can smell a transaction from a mile away. You know, even opening the door, right? And I even hesitated to give that because I've had clients go, Bobby, all week I opened the door for her. Yeah, opening the door's fine. It's all the things combined. It's not just you open the door. It's not just I did the dishes, so now she owes me. That's not masculine. That's manipulative. And it's the opposite of what creates desire. Real protection is an attitude. It's like walking around going, I've got this. I'm the king of my family. My job is to protect them physically, financially, and emotionally. Not in an arrogant way, in a quiet, steady, I've got this way. And when she feels that, when she looks at you and thinks this man has our back, something deep and primal in her kicks in. Now, she doesn't need you to be Superman. She needs to feel like you'd be willing to step in front of the bus for her. Habit number 4. Build sexual tension. I'm just gonna write build tension. Okay, build sexual tension without releasing it. Again, we want her to initiate. So you build the sexual tension and you don't release it. This is the one that a lot of married guys completely forget about, because when you're dating someone new, tension is automatic. There's anticipation, there's build up. You don't know when the next kiss is coming. You don't know what tonight's gonna lead to. But in marriage, most guys kill the tension every chance they get. They flirt once, and if she responds, they immediately try to close the deal. It's like the guy who gets a nibble on the fishing line and yanks the rod in so hard that the hook rips out of the fish's mouth. Dude, let the line run. Here's what I mean in practice. Throughout the day, you're creating little sparks, a look across the room, a text that says something slightly suggestive, but doesn't go all the way into creepy sexual territory. A touch on her hip as you walk past her in the kitchen. Eye contact that lasts a beat longer than normal. And then you go back to whatever you were doing. You let the moment hang. You let her imagination fill in the blanks, because that's where desire lives, in the space between what's happening and what might happen. Most guys rush to the finish line. They want the payoff immediately, but women are wired differently. They're aroused by anticipation, by buildup, by not knowing when it's gonna happen. Think about it. Why do women love romance novels? It's not because the characters jump into bed on page 1. It's because there's 200 pages of tension before anyone touches anyone. Your marriage should have tension in it. Not conflict, not drama. Sexual tension. The charge, electric energy of what's gonna happen, where she's thinking about you, wondering what you're thinking, replaying that look you gave her earlier. And by the time nighttime comes around, she's been simmering all day. So stop trying to close and start building a fire that she can't stop thinking about, that she wants to get closer to. Now, before we move to the next one, a quick plug. If this sort of stuff does not come natural to you, I've got a handbook called Lead Her Back into Attraction. It's 94 pages of proven techniques and strategies for flipping her desire switch back on. It also dives into things like dirty talk, taking control in the bedroom, giving her the dominance she craves. And it comes with an app too to help you track your progress and keep you making the right moves. So right now you can grab the handbook and the app for just $9.99, although the price is going up, so I'd grab it now. There's a link in the description below. Now, next one, habit 5 is show the world you're a confident, dominant man, okay? Show the world your dominance. Show the world you're a confident, dominant man. Here's something a lot of guys don't want to hear. Your wife is always watching how other people respond to you. It's in female nature. Females are incredibly socially aware of what's going on, of the subtle, I wrote a book called The Invisible Game, because that's what they're paying attention to, the invisible game, the social hierarchy, how people are reacting to you. She's watching how other men treat you, whether they respect you, whether they defer to you or dismiss you. And yes, she's watching how other women respond drawn to you. Not because she's insecure, although sometimes women are, but also because it's evolutionary firmware. If other women find you attractive and other men respect you, it confirms she made the right choice. And that confirmation is like rocket fuel for her desire. Now, I'm not saying to go flirt with the waitress in front of your wife. That's disrespectful and stupid. But there's a difference between flirting and being confident and charming around women. When you're at a party and you can hold a conversation with anyone, when you walk into a room and you're not the guy hiding in the corner with his phone, when you're socially comfortable and people enjoy being around you, your wife notices. And look, it's totally fine to be an introvert. I'm a natural introvert myself. I'm not saying you need to be the loudest guy in the room or the alpha male in the room, but there's a massive difference between the quiet, strong, dominant introvert and the passive, insecure, approval-seeking introvert. One radiates, I don't need to be the center of attention because I'm secure in who I am. The other radiates, please don't talk to me. I hope nobody asks me a question. Your wife can feel the difference. And this is actually why I recommend married guys still watch my other videos on my channel, right? Videos on attraction, on flirting, on charisma, because this stuff doesn't stop being relevant just because you put a ring on her. In fact, it becomes more important. Unlike a lot of single guys, you have a place and a woman to test this stuff on every single day. So yeah, don't skip videos because you feel like this is for single guys. When she sees other women light up around you, when she sees that you command respect from other men, when she's watching you navigate a room with ease, she remembers why she chose you and she wants to make sure nobody else gets you, right? And that instinct of, I don't want to lose this guy, it's a big reason women will start initiating. And that's one of the reasons why when guys will say things like, well, my wife is going through menopause and premenopause and she just doesn't have a libido. And I'm like, when a woman like respects you and fears and knows, like, she will want to please you because her like instincts kick in not to lose you. Her desire for you isn't just about what happens at home. It's about who you are in the entire world. Number 6, pay attention to her icks. An ick is like, you want to avoid the ick. Now, this is one is going to be a little uncomfortable, but it might be the most practical thing in this entire video. Women have icks. These are private, specific, sometimes completely irrational turnoffs that they will rarely tell you about directly. We have them too with girls, right? Like, there's things a woman can do that just gives me the, you know? And if you're triggering these on a daily basis, you're killing desire without even knowing it. Now, the obvious stuff most guys already know, but this is important stuff too. Be clean, be well-dressed. Don't walk around looking like you just crawled out of a dumpster. But every woman has her own specific list of these things that make her cringe, and she's gonna bring them up. She may not like say directly, like, it makes me dry up completely, like, but you have to be aware of it. I'll give you a personal example, as embarrassing this is for me to admit on camera, but my wife hates plumber's crack, like viscerally hates it. And here's the thing, I fluctuate in weight a lot. So my pants are constantly going from too tight to too loose. And if I'm not careful, if I bend over to pick something up at a barbecue, boom, plumber's crack. And my wife's desire just falls off a cliff. Doesn't matter that I was being charming all day. Doesn't matter that I was hitting every other habit on this list. One moment of like bending over and my hairy ass showing in front of other people, and I'm like the before picture in a makeover show. And I had to learn that the hard way. I had to learn to pay attention. I had to make it a habit to check my pants, to wear a belt, to tuck my shirt in. Sounds ridiculous, but this stuff matters. Maybe your wife's thing is nose hair or ear hair or the way you pick your teeth at the table, or that you leave toenail clippings on the bathroom floor like some kind of feral animal. Whatever it is, she's got an ick and you have to become aware of it. Again, one of the comments I always get is, what about her? She does things. Yeah, your wife's not perfect. I get it. She probably does things that ick you, okay? But this video is about you, right? It's not about her. Hopefully she's watching a video that tells her to be a better person as well. She hasn't said anything because she doesn't want to hurt your feelings, or it's embarrassing, or maybe she doesn't even consciously recognize, like, oh, when this happens, I lose my sexual desire, but it's happening, trust me. Every time she sees it, a little piece of her desire evaporates. So here's the habit. Start paying attention, watch her reactions, and notice when she winces or looks away or gets that disgusted face expression of hers. I love you. Please stop doing that, right? Like, we've all gotten that. And actively eliminate these things, because attraction isn't just about doing the right things. It's also about not doing the things that kill it. You can do 9 things right and 1 ick wrong, and that ick is what she'll remember when the lights go off that night. Number 7. Demonstrate excellence. Demonstrate excellence, extreme competence. There was a movie years ago, a great movie worth watching, called The Tao of Steve. If you haven't checked it out, like I said, it's worth watching. The main character, Dex, this fat, out of shape womanizer, gives 3 rules of romantic seduction, and one of them is be excellent. And that stuck with me because it's one of those things that sounds simple but runs very deep. From an evolutionary standpoint, women are programmed to want to mate with the man who demonstrates the best genes, the strongest, smartest, most capable version of a man. And one of the most powerful ways to trigger that wiring is through demonstrations of competence. Not telling her you're good at things, showing her. For me, it's stuff like my kids bragging to their friends that I have a YouTube play button. My wife hearing that and seeing the pride in my kids' eyes that like daddy has the YouTube plaque in his office, that does something, right? She's not thinking about it consciously, but her attraction ticks up. Or cooking a meal for the family that actually blows people away. Not reheating leftovers, but actually like creating something in the kitchen that makes her go, damn, when did you learn to do that? Or beating other husbands in the local tennis tournament and seeing your wife watch you from the sidelines with that look on her face. Anytime you're demonstrating excellence, especially in a public setting where other people can see it, your wife's desire spikes. Because she's not just seeing a guy she lives with, she's seeing a man that other people admire, a man who's exceptional at something, a man whose genes she chose. And here's the key, it doesn't have to be some world-class achievement. Fix something around the house with confidence and skill. Handle a complex situation at work in a way that she kind of can see you doing it, right? Maybe you're on the phone. I mean, I had a female friend once who told me that nothing turned her on more than listening to her husband giving his employees instructions on the phone in like a dominant way. Like, it's weird, but that's how women are wired for dominance as well, right? I didn't get into that, but she told me, she goes, when my husband would be on the phone, like giving instructions and bossing his employees around, she goes, I used to get wet. Like, it used to turn me on so much. Well, I don't get turned on when my wife is bossing people around, but women are different than us. Run a 5K and beat your personal best. Build something with your hands. There's a lot of ways to do it. The bar isn't perfection. The bar is this man is capable. This man is competent. This man can handle his business. And when she sees that consistently, when competence becomes your daily habit rather than something you stumble into once a year, she starts looking at you differently. You're not just the guy who like bumbling around the house, not able to find his keys, right? Like, you don't want that image in her head. You want the one where she feels like, I'm lucky to have this guy. Man, some other woman's gonna steal this guy away. Excellence isn't a trait, it's a habit, and it's the most attractive one that you can build. So here's the truth. Look, none of these habits are complicated, but most guys aren't doing any of them, let alone all of them. I mean, be honest with yourself. How many of these are you doing on a daily basis, right? Or even a weekly basis? Most guys are walking around their house in like stained sweatpants, dumping their stress on their wife, groping her when she's trying to watch TV, and then wondering why she'd rather scroll Instagram than climb on top of you. And I get it. It's easy to fall into that pattern. Marriage has a way of putting us guys on autopilot in a lot of ways. Like, listen, being single sometimes in the chase, it's like you want to be like, man, I got her, I can relax and fucking eat whatever I want and not give a shit anymore. You can do that, but your wife's probably not going to initiate, right? You have a choice. Here's the thing that most guys don't realize. Your wife wants to desire you. That's the thing that you have to understand. It's like, she doesn't want to not want to fuck you, okay? I don't want to be like vulgar, but your wife wants to want to fuck you. Trust me. She would much rather go through her day waiting to get home, waiting to pull her panties off, and waiting to climb on top of you. She wants to feel that spark. She wants to be the woman who can't keep her hands off her husband. She's not the enemy here. She's the mirror, and what she reflects back to you is a direct response to the energy you're putting out. You change the energy, she changes the response every single time. Now, again, if you want to go deeper on this, if you want the full playbook for giving your wife both the mental and physical dominance, I brought up dominance, but I didn't go into it too much in this video, but women crave dominance inside and outside of the bedroom. I have a handbook called Lead Her Back into Attraction. It's the complete system for reigniting desire in your marriage, and not by begging, not by negotiating, not by doing more chores, but by becoming the man she can't stop thinking about. It covers things like 6 shifts that flip her desire switch back on, the 4 elements that separate sex she tolerates from sex she craves, how to create the slow burn that makes her want it, a 7-day quick start plan, 1 specific move per day for your first week so you're not overwhelmed trying to change everything at once. You'll also get free lifetime access to my app, the Lead Her Back to Attraction web app, with 6 switches to reignite her desire at your fingertips. No flipping through pages, no trying to remember which tactic was where. Just open it up, find the tactic you want, and use it right then. I'll drop the link in the description below, because the guys who take this stuff seriously, who actually apply it daily, they're the ones whose wives are pulling them into the bedroom, not the other way around. And if you found this video helpful, hit the like button so that other husbands who are frustrated or struggling with this can find the video. Leave me a comment and let me know what your biggest takeaway was, and also what you'd like to see me go deeper into in future videos. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future videos.